Feeling to do a live feed again. It's been quite some time. Hello my friends, my subscribers. Hope you're all doing well. Now, I made a video 2 days ago and we were talking about the lawsuits that were taking place, settlement talks, etc. with Uber. About 250,000 Uber and Lyft drivers in California. And the Attorney General of New York had just settled a big $300 million plus wage theft lawsuit against the gig companies. And what I said in that video was that I was blown away, astounded that only 2, maybe 3 states had actually sued the gig companies over wage theft. And let's be honest, these CEOs should be in jail, right? To steal from a hard working driver, whether you're a food delivery driver or a rideshare driver, when you're using this intentional malicious conduct to enrich yourself, to enrich not only your CEO position, your salary, but everyone around you, your investors. What saddens me is that these CEOs are not in jail. They're not held accountable, and they have not been held accountable by both administrations, by the Biden administration and by the Trump administration. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And what also blows me away is that, you know, a guy like CEO Dara Khosrowshahi, in his individual capacity, sends $1 million to Donald Trump, and then another $1 million from Uber Technologies, and Donald Trump accepts that money. And when you accept that type of money, you know that individual will be asking for a favor in the future, right? That's just how it goes. Big corporations, politicians, and full disclosure here, I am no fan of the current politics that are played by Democrats and Republicans. Had very little time for both administrations. I just think that they're taking care of themselves, the politicians, and they're not looking out for the little guy. And it's the same abusive pattern by these corporations. It's sort of this me. You know, I need to make all the money, screw everybody else. We have Lion Man Rider. I like it, Lion Man Rider. That's a cool name, man. In the house, says hi. Shout out hi back. And hopefully others will join in, and hopefully we can get this video viral. Now, what also blew me away, and I'll be very honest here, is that too many drivers expect these lawsuits or expect everything to be done for them. Kevin Hawthorne is in the house. Good evening from Lakeland, Florida. Shout out to you, my brother. And the truth is, no change, no movement happens if you do not personally take action in life. You want to change things, you want to move things, you have to get to work. You can't rely on that person, that other person to get you over the finishing line. It's a fact, the only person that can get you over the finishing line is you, right? You need to do the running, the sprinting, the hard work if you want to see personal change in your life. I always, use this formula: input equals output. What you put into your daily life, you should one-on-one get rewarded back. Input equals output. And that being said, there are positions out there. So for example, Trump has appointed the Secretary of Labor. And these type of individuals will be in every state. You'd have to look up who's the head of the Labor Department in California, the head of Labor Department in Texas, etc. But the top dog is a woman called Chavez-DeRemer. And you know what? She has social media handles. She's on X or Twitter.com. She has her pages on YouTube. These people are reachable. Maybe obviously you don't have their personal phone number. You might not have their email, but their websites are out there. There are contact forms. There are all these ways you can make noise. And what you really need to do at the end of the day is make noise. If you want to see change, make noise. If you want to get someone's attention, make noise. And I'm not talking about whispering. No, making like a bullhorn, noise. And there's no better outlet than social media. So to reach out to these individuals, I've given you one name. It's in the title. You could look up your state's head of labor. You could look up your attorney general in your state. They have Twitter accounts. They have YouTube accounts. There's many, many ways you can connect with them or with one of their staff members, right? There's many, many avenues to reach those individuals. And the way I would play this is obviously you're going to make noise. And that is, how come our state, or how come have you not taken action? I see that the Attorney General in New York, I see that the Attorney General in California has taken action to the tune of $1.3 billion against the company, representing 250,000 drivers. I see that Attorney General Letitia James has taken action and actually won a lawsuit against Uber and Lyft to the tune of 300 plus million for wage theft. Wage theft is money they are stealing from me, from you, right? I got paid back. I sued, right? I sued over wage theft. Obviously, I can't discuss the payout. I can't discuss the details, but I got my money. I made sure I got my money, because you don't go out there between 2016 and 2020 and find ways, evil ways to extract my money, right? I worked hard in those years. I need to get paid. And I was definitely a part of a big group of California drivers that also sued. I helped countless Massachusetts drivers sue. I helped countless California drivers sue. I helped countless New York drivers sue, directing them to websites, directing them to class actions. But if there is not a class action in place, you have to create it. You have to create it. And I believe the easiest way to do that is to put the pressure on these individuals. You know, the head, this Secretary of Labor, Lori Chavez-DeRemer, say, hey, listen, you got elected to represent us. Here's the issue. They have been engaging in wage theft. And my friends, this is not just wage theft in Massachusetts, New York, and California. No, believe me, wage theft has taken place in all 50 states, and wage theft has taken place in every country that Uber and Lyft operate in. To take it a point further, not only wage theft, but also tip theft. These companies have settled multiple times on tip theft, and they still do it. They still do it because in these settlements, at the end of the day, they only have to settle cents on the dollar. So they're actually making money after their settlements. That's okay. Well, I'll steal 100 million and I'll settle for 20 million, right? Or 15 million. That's how they do it. And it's that evil mindset that is not being punished. Like I said, they're not in jail. I haven't seen the Secretary of Labor taking action against them. I haven't seen Biden taking action against them. I haven't seen Donald Trump taking action against them. I've only seen a handful, less than a handful of attorney generals take action against Uber and Lyft. And the problem is, when you are able, as a CEO, to send $1 million to a president for protection, you know, how can you get these people into jail? They're protected by the higher powers. So it's a group of politicians and, you know, executives that work hand in hand. You know what? Screw the people on the bottom. We'll tolerate this wage theft. We'll tolerate it. Yes, some people will sue, some people will settle, but you know, all is good. No, it's not. These individuals should be in jail. So we have Egg 64 in the house. What's up, Eric? Says I deleted all gig apps. It's time for everyone to do the same. Cool. Thanks for that. Thanks for that input. That's cool. Appreciate you guys. But I really encourage everyone to do their homework. You know, who runs the Department of Labor in my state? Who is my Attorney General? How can I reach them? How can I formulate a complaint? How can I join others in putting collective pressure on these individuals that should be overseeing these corporations and holding them accountable? And to me, it's just simply unacceptable that if you have $1.3 billion, which they're trying to get in California, 300 plus that they already got in New York, Massachusetts partly ongoing, but what about all the other money owed to drivers? This is a legit question. What about all the other monies owed to drivers in Arizona, in Nevada, in Texas, in Florida, in New Mexico, in Utah, in New Jersey, in the Carolinas? I could go on and on and on and on. It's billions upon billions upon billions upon billions of dollars. And if you do not go after them and make noise with the bullhorn and get the complaints out and contact the attorney generals and contact the Department of Labor and the Secretary of Labor, nothing will happen. And don't expect others to do the job for you, because that's not how it works in life, right? I don't expect the people around me to do the work for me. I got to do it myself. If I want change, I'm building up in the mountains of Venture Park. I'm building multiple homes and guest houses. I'm up against a couple of county officials that think they run the show, and they think they're going to harass you. They think they're going to bully you, right? And you know, attorneys will get involved, but I have to initiate the attorneys. I have to push back, or I just swallow the crap all day long. And that's not in my DNA, to swallow somebody else's shit. I don't know about you, but do you enjoy chewing someone else's shit in your mouth? No, you don't, right? So stand up, get to work, look up those people, look up how to contact them, formulate a complaint and say, I would like to join a class action. Why? Because I know for a fact that tips have been stolen from me. I know for a fact that there's been wage theft. Wage theft has already been proven in New York, in Massachusetts, in California. Why is this not taking place in my city and my state? I would like to join other drivers. Here's my name. Here's my email. Here's my phone number. Please contact me when you have a class action lawsuit in place. Please contact me when you, the Attorney General, file a lawsuit, right? And I've made several videos over the last few days regarding this topic, and I'm still blown away. I'm blown away how many drivers expect the work to be done for them. Hey, somebody out there has to file a class action, and they should be notifying me so I can join that. That's not how it works. If you are not proactive in this game, if you're not going out, doing the searching, looking at what class actions are going on, and ringing the bells, blowing the horns, nothing will change. Nothing will change. So Paul Brobeck says, I hope I pronounced it right, in New Jersey we drive blind. We are not told where the passenger is going. You know, and that you're 100% right here, right? And why does that only apply to New Jersey? New Jersey drivers should be suing. That is unacceptable that you are not told you are driving blind. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what you're picking up. Nothing's disclosed to you. Why? Right? That is not a contract. I am not entering a contract where all these variables are unknown to me, right? And so it pisses me off, to be honest, that this is the way New Jersey drivers get treated by Uber and Lyft, and it's when the passenger is going and they get into the car and we press start, they do not tell us what the fare is until the trip ends. That is so freaking corrupt. 100%. That is so corrupt. You're not telling, the company's not telling where you're going, right? You just say, oh, you're going to go pick up this person. You don't know what you're getting paid. I mean, that they have not been, your attorney general in New Jersey. I mean, is that individual, is it a he, is it a she? I don't know. Put their name, and please put their name below, Paul Brober, because I'm going to give them a shout out. Why is that individual fast asleep, right? Why is that individual not standing up for tens of thousands of New Jersey drivers when they know that is the ultimate corruption? That is not a contract, right? That's not you being an independent contractor when you're not fed any of the information. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what you're getting being paid. And it's like, oh, it's a mystery trip. It's a mystery trip. Let me find out what's going to happen on this one in New Jersey and what's going to happen on the next one and where I'm going and what I'm getting paid. It's a mystery. No, that's not part of the contract. I do not know why New Jersey drivers are subjected to those conditions. They're unacceptable, right? Dara Khosrowshahi, I hope, and David Risher, I hope that drivers in New Jersey file lawsuits over this. And again, you can go to giglawyers.com. That is a website that I started, and you can send an email. I think it's called tips@giglawyers.com. Hey, I am a driver in New Jersey, and I would be interested if there's any class action going on that's filed in New Jersey over this. I would like to join. And we just like to try and pass names on to lawyers and class action attorneys so that if anything is going on, you get informed, you can join and hopefully make some money, right? But at the end of the day, this is up to New Jersey drivers, right? You have to, I agree. It must be cheap Dara's mom running the company. And she is the cheapest ass. I mean, this chick won't even pay 15 cents for a coffee. That's where this thug Dara Khosrowshahi learned all his bad tricks from his mother. I hate to say it, right? So, Paul, thank you. Likewise, thank you for sharing that. And that's a really, really good point, right? This corruption in New Jersey needs to stop, and drivers need to rise up against this evil regime, Uber and Lyft, and file the lawsuits. I hope we see change in New Jersey, and I hope we see these wage theft class action lawsuits or individual lawsuits. I mean, for example, you have a group here in Los Angeles, and they have San Diego drivers and LA drivers. They're very powerful. They're about 5,000 strong, called Rideshare Drivers United. And they have been brawling and fighting with Uber and Lyft for years. And they were relentless. They never let down. They continued the battle, and right now they're negotiating. And I hope there's big money involved. And the same should apply to every single state. The same should apply to every single country. You don't think that they have stolen from drivers in the UK or from my brothers and sisters in South Africa or from Australian drivers or from European drivers. They've stolen from everyone. This is how this company got rich. This is why this company is evaluated at $180+ billion, right? It's through theft and corruption. Corruption was already proven on the highest level, that they were bribing officials, bribing presidents. I mean, these guys are scandalous. They know no boundaries. They don't abide by the laws. But the sad thing is that no one in the Biden administration, no one in the Trump administration has held them accountable. So my shout out goes to a Trump appointed Secretary of Labor, Mrs. Lori Chavez-DeRemer. Step up, do your work, right? You were hired, and now you need to do your work. You still have to, you have a lot of work to do in over 47 states where you need to mobilize the attorney generals. You need to go after wage theft. This cannot only be a New York thing. This cannot only be a Massachusetts thing. This cannot only be a California thing. It has to be a USA thing. You need to go. I'm calling you out, Secretary of Labor Lori Chavez-DeRemer. Step up and do your work or resign. You work for the people, and the people, the gig workers, several million strong, should not have to be shafted and lose their hard-earned money, their wages, their tips to corrupt corporations who are operating under your nose, Secretary of Labor Lori Chavez-DeRemer. They're operating under your leadership, and you're giving them a get out of jail free card. It's unacceptable. You got to do your work here. So Noelani Bui says California. So yeah, let that sink in. But the reason for my video, my friends, is and please, we have 23 people in the house, in the room right now. I would kindly ask you to all hit this, the like button, so that the video becomes viral. The more likes, the more the video starts climbing in the algorithms, the more people get to view it, the more people we need to reach. And I would also ask the people that are coming across this video, sharing is caring. Shoot this video out on YouTube, on x.com, wherever you can, and make as much noise as possible, because we need to reach every driver at every corner around the globe and mobilize this movement against these companies and initiate these class actions and stand up to that wage theft and stand up to all those stolen tips. It's time to give us our money back. It's time to pay us. And what's good for California and New York should also be good for me in Carolina, or should also be good for me in Las Vegas, Nevada. I need to get paid. They have stolen my money. It's time to pay. Represent me, fight for me. You need to make contact with these individual departments, whether it's the Department of Labor in Nevada. Find out who the players are. Contact them through the websites. Contact the Secretary of Labor, Lori Chavez-DeRemer. Why have we not been represented in wage theft lawsuits in Nevada, in Texas, in Florida, etc., etc.? It has to happen. So, what's up? Eric says, are there any class action lawsuits in South Carolina? Not that I know of, because they probably were not initiated, because we probably did not do enough work in South Carolina to get these going. So how you start in South Carolina, you complain to the Secretary of Labor, you look her up, you complain to your Secretary of Labor in your state, you look them up, you say, hey, why is this not taking place in South Carolina? Why are South Carolina gig workers, drivers, food delivery drivers not protected, right? Why have class actions not been filed in my state of South Carolina? Got to call the people out. And again, Anthony Smith says, any in Chicago. So you coming to me and saying, hey, Rideshare Professor, anything going on in Chicago, anything going on in South Carolina? This is precisely the problem. This is the problem. You're relying on others to give you the information, share it with you, and light a fire under your ass so you start to get going. No, the job is for you, right, Anthony? The job is for you to look it up in Chicago, or contact the individuals, speak to other people, get it going. This is how it was born and created in California, is that a couple of drivers came together. They formed Rideshare Drivers United. They're over 5,000 strong. Now they're in settlement for 250,000 drivers in California that were driving between 2016 and 2020. We're talking $1.3 billion that they're talking. And I'm not trying to be rude, and I love and respect all drivers in my channel. I'm just very, very direct, is that the only way we get change or movement going is if we, use our voices. We've got to be loud and proud, and make a shit load of noise in Chicago and make a shit load of noise in South Carolina. By the way, there are Uber and Lyft Facebook groups in Chicago. You could go in there and say, hey, can we get something going? Or can we work together as drivers? Anybody here contacted the Attorney General that oversees Chicago? Anyone here in the state of Illinois contact the Department of Labor? We need to initiate this, right? So sharing is caring. Be loud, be proud. Use your bullhorns, use your voices, and most importantly, use all these outlets, right? We've got Facebook, we have TikTok. You could make a TikTok video to call upon other drivers. You could make a YouTube video. You could join Facebook groups. You could create your own Facebook groups. You can look up all these bodies and you can contact them. And when you act as one, magic happens, man. Magic happens. This is my magic right now. No, Anthony, I appreciate you, bro, and I'm not criticizing you at all, brother. I truly love you all, and I care, and I want you to get paid, right, Anthony? I want you to get paid. It sickens me that, they're out there stealing from people like Eric, myself, you, and others. It's or Jose and Evangelista in the house. It sickens me that they think that they can just, change the algorithms, manipulate the algorithms, and steal. It's called wage theft, right? And then they can steal our tips. It's unacceptable. And what really upsets me here is that they get away with it. I mean, if we were, can you imagine 4 or 5 of us would steal $1.3 billion? We would be in jail for life, my friends, right? If, for example, Eric, Anthony, and I stole $1.3 billion, we would be in jail for life. So why does this arsehole Dara Khosrowshahi get a free pass, a get out of jail pass? Why didn't Biden or Trump do anything about Uber or Lyft? Why are these companies still out there performing the same corrupt ways, stealing from drivers, stealing tips in 2025? Fuck, that's unacceptable. Unacceptable. These people should all be sharing a jail cell, and get milk and porridge in the morning. Nothing more. They don't deserve anything more, right? They don't deserve anything because they are thieves. They are corrupt people knowingly stealing from you. And that's what's the sickening part. They know. They orchestrate this. They program this. They have no remorse, these sickheads. This is what they do. And it's up to these higher powers, the attorney generals. It's up to the FTC. It's up to the Labor Department to take action. Why are many of these states and cities not taking action? What's up there? Have you guys been paid? Have there been people involved? What do they call them? What do they call these people that you can hire? Right? That you can hire and then they'll run and talk to the politicians. I'm missing the word right now. Help me out. Lobbyists, right? So are there lobbyists running around in your cities and states and doing you politicians a favor or cozying up to you so that you protect these companies? Or who do you work for? The citizens of the United States, or were you hired by these CEOs? I mean, that's a legit question, right? Who do you actually, I would like to ask these people like Secretary of Labor, Lori Chavez-DeRemer, who do you work for, right? Do you work for corporate America or do you work for the people? Simple question, answer that. And if you work for the American people, if you work for the gig workers, well, then take action. And the same goes for every attorney general, state to state. Who do you work for? The citizens of America? Or do you get paychecks from corporations? Right? It's a simple question. It's very, very simple. These people were elected by the people. to serve the people. Let me repeat that. For every Attorney General, for every Labor Department official, for the Secretary of Labor, you were elected and voted by the people to work for the people. Not a difficult concept to understand. So salute everyone. Hope you're having a good day. I got the air conditioning on way too cold. It's freezing in here. And please rise up. Please make noise. Please reach out. And New Jersey, we need change in New Jersey. What some of the drivers here shared with me in New Jersey, which I already know, but it's unacceptable. You should be knowing what you're going to be earning, and you should know where you're going. That is not a contract, what you have there. That's called driving blindly. Oh, let me see where I'm going and let me find out what I'm going to earn. No, that's bullshit, David Risher, and that's bullshit, Darryl Koshashawi, that you can actually pull that shit off in New Jersey. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they get around the legislation and the laws that they can do it, but that's not a contract. And you're not an independent contractor if you're driving under those conditions in New Jersey. So New Jersey, you really have a strong case there. Package it up, rise up, and serve them in form of a class action. So bless you all. I'm going to be heading home now at 6:20 here in LA. Cool down a bit, 73 degrees right now. Made myself a sweet $200 in a private trip. Did one trip this morning for $180. I'm $380 up. Didn't break my back. Had a lot of time to do a lot of other things. And even time for a great video to connect with all of you once again. So shout out to all of you. Much love to you, your family. Please be safe. Please be alert at all times when you're on this job and you've clocked in, whether you're driving to the person, whether you have the person or the people in your car, whether you have food in the car, whether you're delivering food, at all times, please be alert. Hit that like button and we will meet up in the next live stream soon. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed day. From the Rideshare Professor.